Hey everyone. I thought, since we're doing a lot of audio projects in class, I thought I would do a quick tutorial on how to make a basic audio program in Garageband on your iPad. And so it's really quite easy to do. And Garageband is a great tool because it allows you to record audio and also import music and sound effects so you could create a nicely finished audio project that you could then listen to, or you can email, you could turn it into your teacher, actually. So we're going to go to my iPad. I have GarageBand opened, and the first thing that we have to do is we have to hit the plus button up here in the upper right, and that's going to bring us to the project screen. And I have audio recorder selected, but you've got all these instruments. You don't need those, but what you need is the audio recorder. And to create a new audio recording, hit the icon called voice right there, and that'll bring up the recording screen. And so my voice is being picked up on this iPad right now through its microphone, and you could see that because this green line is moving up and down. So this is the basic recording screen, and this is what you're going to do when you record your voice. But there's a couple of things to remember here. GarageBand is designed to make songs, and so the default length of the program is only a few minutes long. And most likely you're going to need to increase the default length. Also, the default on GarageBand is to have all of this bells and whistles, all of these audio filters that you don't need when you're doing that. So the first thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to increase the default length of the project and also turn off all of those audio filters. So the first thing we're going to do is increase the size, the length of the project. So up here on the top, I'm just scrolling, this is 8 measures. Your project is going to be longer than 8 measures. So what I need to do is go over to the end of that ruler and hit the plus. And once I do, section A is 8 bars. I'm going to change that. All right. The manual comes up, and we're going to just take my finger and slide upwards, and we're going to increase that to its maximum, which is 640, which is about a half hour or so. Now, your project may be longer than that, so you may have to do it in 2 parts. That's what I had to do when I recently did a project. So I'm just going to click anywhere on the iPad screen, and now it brings this back up again. Now, to turn off all of the audio filters, what I have to do is go up to the filter icon. The nice thing about the iPad is you've got this help button, this question mark in the upper right. You click on that, and it's going to show you all about this screen. The one thing it's not showing you are what these icons are up here in the upper left. Those icons are, one, your song files, your timeline, and then your effects. Those bars that go up and down are the effects. You're going to click on that. And then here we have plugins and equalizers. I'm going to click on that, and you'll notice everything is on. We got the compressor, the effects. We're going to turn those all off. So when we record, we're not recording any enhanced audio. You could always add that stuff later to make it sound better. So I'm going to turn that off, and we are now ready to record. Now, when you record from your iPad, you have to know where the microphone is. The microphone is located, here's the screen. Whoop. The volume buttons here on the top right, there is a little hole right there. That is your microphone. So you're going to be talking into it. About 8 inches to a foot from your mouth. Don't scream into it. Just talk normal. It's a microphone. It's pretty sensitive, and it'll pick everything up. Now, the best place, if you want the best audio, the best place to go, hands down, if you don't have a studio, which you most likely don't, the best place to go is in your closet. That's right. Sit on the floor of your closet, close the door, surround yourself by your clothes. The clothes help absorb echo, and you get some nice, clean audio there. So when I'm ready to record, all I have to do is go over to the middle there and click on the red dot. Now, the most annoying thing about the iPad is that it's got this metronome. And I'm going to turn off the metronome there. Sometimes it comes on. I can't quite figure out what's going on with it. The metronome is this button here. It's that triangle, and it's blue, meaning it's on. I'm going to turn it off. And then I'm going to hit the red button, and now I am recording. That's right, we are recording right now, and I may screw up when I'm recording. That's okay, because you can cut out and slice and dice this audio file in any way you want. So, here I'm going to start recording. Well, it's actually recording, but I'm going to start my little segment here. Hello, I am Mr. Janu, and this is a Garageband tutorial. I'm going to walk you through with how to record audio, how to add tracks, and how to add music. It's really a relatively easy thing. And so I am recording right now into a track here in GarageBand. Pretty soon I am going to play one of my favorite songs by one of my favorite bands. And you know what that band is? They were a little bit before your time, perhaps, but they are the Spice Girls, and this is it. I tell you what I want, what I really, really want. Okay, so now I am done recording that segment, but it's still recording. So I am going to hit the stop button, which is that square up there, and bam. There, I'm done. I have now recorded about a minute or so of audio. But you want to see what that looks like, you got to look at it on the timeline, and that is the middle icon here up on the left. I'm going to click on that, and that brings up the timeline now. And I'm just going to zoom in, and that is my audio that I just recorded. I can listen to it. I could play it by hitting the play button up at the top. Red button, and now I am recording. That's right, we are recording right now, and I may screw up when I'm recording. Now, okay. I can take this cursor and move it all over the place, and I could see where I actually started to do my recording. I don't want this stuff in the beginning. So what I'm going to do is highlight the track by tapping on it. And then what I'm going to do is tap it again. And then you see a bunch of instructions, buttons come up. And I'm going to hit split. Hit that split. And then, look there, right where the cursor is, and I can move it around. Right where that cursor is right now is a scissors. And I'm just going to swipe down, bam, and I just cut it. So what I can do now, all that stuff that I had in the beginning, we now have two files here, two audio files. I'm going to get rid of that first thing. So I'm going to highlight the first part, tap it, and just delete it. Now this, then I'm going to move to the front, and let's take a listen to this. Going to move the cursor there, and let's listen. Hello. I am Mr. Janu, and this is a GarageBand tutorial. I'm going to walk you through with how to record audio. All right, so there's what I just recorded, and I want to get rid of the end. And so I can split it again. And or I could just take this handle here on the right, and I could just slide it over to about there. And then I've got the end that I really want. All right, so there we go. So I've got my first part of audio here, and now I'm going to add a song. Now, in order to add music and files that you have downloaded to your program here, you have to make sure those are in your GarageBand folder. All right, so you may have to email yourself something, but you need to put it in your GarageBand folder. And when it's there, all you have to do is, it's still playing. All you have to do is go over and find it. This loop icon up here are all of these files, and it opens up on, the loops. Loops are pieces of music that are included in GarageBand. You're not going to really use those. But I'm going to turn that off a second because I'm going to add music, which means I have to add another track. This plus button down here on the bottom is how you do that. So I'm going to add another audio recorder, hit voice again, and I'm going to go back to the timeline. Okay, so I have another track there. So now I could incorporate music that I've downloaded and have in my GarageBand folder. So I'm going to open up the loop again, and I'm going to click Audio Files. And there I've got a bunch of songs that I imported. And, there's the Spice Girls. I'm going to click on that, hold it a second, and then slide it to this track. It incorporates, and I can see where the song starts, so I can move it to wherever. It's now underneath the audio that I just recorded. So let's take a listen. I'm going to move this back over here. But they are the Spice Girls, and this is it. I tell you what I want, what I really, really want. Yo, tell you what I want, what I really, really want. Don't tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. Don't tell me what you want, what you really, really want. All right, so now, we've got the Spice Girls playing there. And so it's like me being a DJ. So now if I want to record some more audio, I can. I could go over here, highlight my lead vocal track again, and I can start recording another segment. So I hit the record button. Got to turn off that metronome. I hate it. So I'm recording now again. And so here is what I am going to say. So that was the Spice Girls with Wannabe. That's right, a blast from the 90s past here. I remember when that song came out, and I remember the Spice Girls. I was in my first few years of teaching, and man, you could hear that song everywhere. One of my favorite songs, though, was recorded in the early 70s, and it was by John Lennon. And it's one of the greatest songs ever written, and that song is Imagine. Here it is. Okay, there I just recorded again, and so now I stop the recording. I'm going to go over to the timeline by hitting that timeline button, the middle icon here on the left, and there is the vocals. Now again, it's going to have stuff there that I don't want, so I'm going to have to trim the clip. Let's hear it. Got to turn off that metronome. I hate it. So I'm recording now again. And so here is what I am going to say. All right, so there is where I'm going to start my audio. So what I need to do is touch the track, and I'm just going to slide that in. All right, so now I've trimmed it, and now I'm going to take it and move it on in. So now I've overlaid it over the Spice Girls. If you want to be my lover. So that was the Spice. That looks like I need to trim it just a little bit more. Oop, maybe a little bit too much there. Okay, so I'm going to go back and listen. So that was the Spice Girls with Wannabe. That's right, a blast from the 90s past here. I remember when that song came out, and I remember the Spice Girls. Okay, so now I've got this track, and I need to trim it on the other side too. So I'm going to scrub this over. Greatest songs ever written, and that song is Imagine. Here it is. All right, so there's where I want to stop it, so I'm going to tap it and move that handle. Now, since I already have this song too in my GarageBand folder, I'm going to go over to the loop. And there it is. Where is it? Imagine Remastered. So I'm going to take that and drag it. And it's imported, and I could see where it starts, so I'm going to move it to where I need to move it. And let's take a listen.
Imagine. Here it is.
All right, so there it is playing there, and you can see the entire project now looks like this. We've got up here, the first track here are my 2 recordings, and then I've got 2 songs, and I can end it as well. I could go over here, click on the recording, first track where I have my vocal, and I can record. Turn off the metronome when it starts, because I hate that thing. All right. So those were 2 of my favorite songs playing for you here on this special GarageBand demo recording. Thanks for listening. I am Mr. Janu. See you later. Okay, I'm going to press stop. Going to go back to the timeline there with touching the timeline icon in the middle on the upper left. And there is my last bit. And I'm going to need to trim this again, and you can see why. Turn off the metronome when it starts, because I hate that thing. All right. All right, so about there, I'm going to click on and just slide this. And then I'm going to bring this over. Let's take a listen. So those were 2 of my favorite songs playing for you here on this special GarageBand demo recording. Thanks for listening. I am Mr. Janu. See you later. All right, I'm just going to trim this a little bit so that thump isn't there, and now that's done. Now, like I said, your project may be longer. This project is probably about 8 minutes long. So what I can do now is go to my songs, and it's saving it, and there it is. Right there, it's my song. And so I'm going to click on, I'm going to go back. I'm going to hold it a second, and I'm going to rename it from my song to GB Demo. Done. And so there it is. When I'm ready to, turn this in or send it somewhere, I just click on it, hold it down a bit, and the icons come up, and I could share it. And when I share it, I'm going to share it as a song and high quality, and then I'm going to click share. And you can then save it to your files as a song. You can send it through mail. You could save it to your drive, whatever. And that is how you do this thing. So if you have any questions, just ask. Thank you for watching, and have fun with your projects.